Good morning, everybody. What's up? It's your man, Eric Wilson, Sports Arena here on a Saturday live at 11 a.m. So you know what that means. I'm here for you. Just talking to you guys really quick about a couple of things I wanted to discuss here. But as I do on every show, as I get started each and every time on the Sports Arena, let me say this, and I'll continually say this. We need justice for Breonna Taylor. We need justice for Elijah McClain. And we need justice for Vanessa Gillian. All right, let's get down to business. So with sports back pretty much, the MLB is tipped off. The WNBA is getting excited. They're getting ready to tip off today. And, of course, the NBA will be tipping off later on next week. Let me bring my man in. He just got done finishing up doing his show, Turf Talk, every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. right here on Facebook.com. Check him out on the Buck Report, Mr. Alex Fleming. Alex, my brother, good morning. What's going on, man? How are you?
Good morning, man. Glad to be alive. It's a beautiful Saturday.
It is. And I love what you said to end your show, man. Vacay is officially over for us, brother. It's back to the grind and it's back to the hustle.
Yeah, we really didn't have a vacay because of this whole COVID thing, but it's the end of July. We know what time it is.
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
If we were working before, it's time
to
get to work.
Stay ready so we don't have to get ready. You know, that's how it is. So, man, I'm glad I got you for a couple of minutes here, and I just wanted to talk about a couple of things. I mean, the first thing, of course, is the WNBA. You know, being so close to the bubble that you are and some of our other friends and colleagues are, and just from listening and hearing what the people are talking about, just give me your thought and impressions on what's going on inside that bubble and what your expectations are for this season.
NBA's done it right. Out of the 364 players, not one tested positive. So the bubble is working. You got guys coming and going, and that worries me. Montrezl Harrell, Sweet Lou, Patrick Beverly, Zion just got back, so I'm hoping and praying that everybody stays healthy because there needs to be a resolution to this season. We were covering the Magic,
Yep.
All right? And this season was a hotbed. You got LA and LA, Milwaukee, Boston, Toronto, and everything that's been going on. I just hope everyone stays healthy and let the chips fall where they may. With that being said, you can't help but see some of the messages that are going to be posted on the back of the players' jerseys and on the basketball court.
Yep.
All right? And if you don't like the message, don't tune in because there's not going to be another way. You can't see it. It's real. It's really real.
Oh, yeah. And, the one thing I really appreciate is the fact that just because they're scrimmaging right now, getting themselves ready for this finished NBA season that we're wanting and hoping and needing to get finished, the players and the coaches, they're taking the basketball questions, which, they have to do as part of their responsibility and obligation. But they have not, no pun intended, they have not sidelined the real conversation that needs to be had each and every day about, social injustices and the systemic oppression against minorities. So I'm very happy to see that just because they back to work doesn't mean that they are forgetting or they are removing the conversation. That is still priority number one to them. And I have to give a lot of shout out to Coach Clifford because in the conversations that I've had to him, he has always stuck with, talking about those things that truly matter.
Well, that's the beautiful thing. Pre-game, post-game, conferences, regular talks, interviews, that's the first issue.
Yes.
You won't escape it. You can't escape it. And whether if you want to ignore it or not, it's all around you. Things need to change.
Yes.
Elijah McGuire, Philando Castile, a registered gun holder, by the way.
Actually, it's Elijah McClain. Alex.
Elijah McClain, my apologies. Elijah McClain, Philando Castile, registered gun holder, NRA nowhere to be found. Eric Garner loses his life for loose cigarettes. Ahmaud Arbery running in a neighborhood he probably didn't belong in and getting tracked down like a modern-day lynching. Breonna Taylor at home.
In bed. This woman was about to be an EMT. She's about to give her life to service other people who needed it more than she did. And in her own home because they got the wrong address, she can no longer go out and be in one of those frontline workers that we so desperately need.
Oh, and this one hits real close to home. Trayvon Martin.
Yeah.
Who was strapped with some Skittles and an iced tea, getting tracked down because he didn't look like he belonged in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Alex, really quick, I actually asked this young man to join me, and he was kind enough, so let me bring him into the mix as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Jarrell Heslip. Jarrell, good morning, sir. Welcome to the Sports Arena. How are you?
Hey, good morning to you both. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me,
Hey,
Eric.
no problem, man. I appreciate you jumping on really quick, man, with us today here. So I just want to
Thank you.
get your thoughts on the NBA. I know, promote yourself and promote. I know you got a show going on later on tonight.
Yes, sir.
Just introduce the people to you real quick.
Okay. My name is Jarrell Heslip. I'm the owner of Jarrell Sports Consulting. What we do is we work with promoting ethics and decision making in athletes and organizations on all levels. I also host Jarrell's Journal podcast, which is a play on that business, where we sit down with different personnels in the sports arena, and we discuss the same things. We talk about ethical issues, decision makings, and we're trying to promote change and thinking in all aspects of the organization. So that's exactly what we do. And it's nice being with you again, Eric and Alex Fleming. Nice to meet you, man.
Pleasure meeting you, sir.
So before I switch over to the NFL, Jarrell, let me get your thoughts on what you've seen just within the bubble as far as the NBA goes, and just your initial thought and impression as this season kicks back up.
My initial thought, I thought it was exciting. It was great to see sports again on TV. Like I said before, we needed some kind of neutral uh, common denominator with all this going on right now in the world. And to see the guys back out there, they didn't look too bad to me. We don't have the fans, but the excitement of the game, they look like they're ready, and they're ready to go into this playoff run. So I was excited about it.
Awesome. Gentlemen, got to pay some bills real quick. Be back in about 15 seconds. Everybody stay tuned.
Hold up.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Sports Arena. Your man, Eric Wilson, alongside Mr. Turf Talk himself, Alex Fleming. He's on the Buck Report every Saturday at 10 a.m. Fantasy and Flavor, Sports Talk Unfiltered, Chris Pirtle Show, Mark Moses Show. This brother got a list as long as probably wow. Every day, this man is hustling. I know. And, of course, Mr. Jarrell Heslip making his debut here on the Sports Arena. Make sure you check him out as well. Gentlemen, I want to transition to the NFL because – please explain to me, one of you, I don't care who, why it took the Washington team in the NFL to decide that their new name was going to, in fact, not be a name. It was the Washington Football Team. Why did it take so long for this to happen?
After you, Mr. Heslip.
I'm baffled by it myself. To be honest with you, after they announced that, we're gonna, have a long thought process with all the management, with the stakeholders, to change and make something that is not going to offend any culture. I thought it was going to be something very innovative, and then you come out with the Washington football team. So I have no idea. My initial reaction to hearing it is maybe I did hear news that they had some kind of issue with trademark with logos and other sponsorships and personnel holding titles to those logos. So I was thinking maybe they're spanning out the time, giving a little time so they can get the logo that they really want in Washington. So hopefully that's the case, and that's just my perspective. But what about you, sir?
There's a gentleman who lives in Virginia who trademarked like a lot of names, making it difficult for Washington to actually pick one because this guy, it's a little bit douchey, but it's brilliant at the same time. because he didn't want to get infringed upon, because if you trademark somebody else's name, that's big money. The question is, what are they going to settle on? And are they just saving this for whenever they do kick out Snyder, somebody else comes in and they're going to be able to choose their own name? Now, if Snyder keeps the team, this has been a black eye, horrible black eye, between the sexual assault allegations, the harassment, the lack of play on the field, the 135, 185, and 1 record, the 2-5 playoff record. It's just been a disaster. Fred Smith, who's the CEO of FedEx, who's black, by the way, doesn't want anything to do with them. The minority owners in the stocks and shares in the Washington Redskins franchise are trying to sell their part.
It's not that franchise anymore. You got to take that Redskins out now.
My apologies. Didn't mean to offend anyone. In the Washington franchise,
there you go,
are trying to sell their shares because they want nothing to do with them. I actually think it's kind of funny, because if you ever are on a Washington fan page, these people are arrogant, they're a bit bigoted, and they feel as if, roses don't smell like poo, poo, poo. So, they've been humbled.
Yeah. I just, as a, I can't even say a fan, they're in my division. So I feel some kind of way with this, because I'm like, so let me get this straight. Reports have come out about how bad this team is off the field, behind closed doors. We don't open the curtain up, threw out all the skeletons and said, here you go. Now you really see what this team is all about. Dan Snyder, in his career of being the owner of this Washington team, hey, you could definitely make some money from him, because the check will clear. But what you have to go through if you're a part of that organization in order to get that check might make you think twice. Now, they are an NFL team. People want to be a part of the organization. They want to get their foot in the door. And I have been on record as saying, listen, I'll go work for Dan Snyder because the check is clearing. But after now seeing everything, I'm going to have to take back and say, to everyone a part of that organization, I apologize for what you have had to endure and go through. But now you're only going to be known as the Washington football team. I was like, you've had so many options, so many opportunities to be on the right side of history with this. Do something that was going to be a huge, real, prolific change. And this is what you came up with. Alex, to your point, I really hope that it is whoever comes in and takes over for Snyder, because as far as I'm concerned, as long as Dan Snyder is the owner of the Washington football team and that organization, you're going to be at the bottom. You're going to stay at the bottom, and that's where you're going to be. So we got a real quick comment here. Call them the DC United. I know I've heard that several times from several different people, and I completely agree. I think that's something that they should do. But again, maybe it is a ploy on, once we get Snyder out, then we'll show the complete and total rebranding. But for now, as long as he is affiliated with this organization, we will be simply the Washington football team.
They could be called the Washington Governors. The Washington Governors. I mean, think about it. They're in D.C.
Yeah.
It's the capital. The governors, they're always trying to run something. The Washington Governors.
Yeah, they ain't running nothing but a nosebleed. That's about all they running. Especially, I mean, listen, the division that they are in is probably one of, if not probably the worst division. Yes, I know I'm a part of that division, so I can say that because it's just easier for us to get to the playoffs. But at the same time, it's not what it used to be back in the 80s and 90s. So until we go back to being the NFC beast, and maybe this is all a big ploy within that division. First off, the Clapper himself is no longer in Dallas. He's now in New York, but he's not a head coach. Okay. So now Washington is going through their transition. Maybe we're getting rid of that cancerous and all that negativity. We don't burn some sage and said, you know what, we're getting all this toxicity out of our system so that we can stop being the NFC least. That's my hope. That is my hope. Because I'd like there to be some definite competition. Don't think about it. I'm happy that there's not, because we get to the playoffs. So I'm good with that. Listen, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me really quick. I want both of you to promote yourselves before I get out of here. I look forward to speaking to you later on this evening, Jarrell, on your show. Alex, please be safe. But before y'all both go, Alex, first up, please promote yourself, everything about you, brother. And, we're going to be talking, as always, throughout the day.
Yes. Vacation time is done. Alex Fleming, Fantasy and Flavor, Sports Talk Unfiltered, Turf Talk. We got some things on the horizon. I'm not going to tell you about that. Sportsman Analytics, the Truth Serum Football. Guys, the W, 40 is the new 20. If you think you've heard some sports from us during the COVID period, watch out, because we got baseball, basketball, and football on the horizon. Wash your damn hands. Buckle in.
Jarrell?
That's awesome, man. And once again, my name is Jarrell Heslip. You can catch me on. I have two pages on where I stream through Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. It's Jarrell Heslip and also Jarrell Heslip Sports Consulting. Just like we were just talking, bad leadership in the Redskins organization for decades, ethical decisions that can change minds and help, empower this franchise and other franchises, because they're not the only organization going through problems like this. But we want to talk about discussions like this and tune in. Can't wait to speak with you later on today, Eric. Alex, open invitation. I'm glad I met you, and I look forward to checking and tuning in on Turf Talk as well, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you both very much. Please stay safe as always, brothers. I love doing this. Hey, it's like back in the day that show A Different World. Hey, all one color. Your man, Eric Wilson, Sports
All
Arena.
right.
I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great Saturday, everybody. See ya.